Chair, immediately, because we have all these in our on emails. We just need one of us to step out.
Have you sent someone to? Have you sent someone to make a printout of the same? Because we want you to submit them on record yourselves.
Have you?
I don't want them to be smuggled to the clerk or to the committee.
Chair, the network is bad, so we've asked them to walk out and try and print it out.
Although under ordinary circumstances, knowing that you are coming in acting capacity, you would have carried the enabling documentation. And this is a rescheduled meeting, not even the first meeting. And so we need a copy of, but before that, take us through what was contained in that directive. Who are those people mentioned in the directive? And because we need to be certain. What are the reasons, if any, in the directive?
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, Chair. I want to apologize, first of all, for having spoken without going through you the first time. But I want to confirm, one, that I'm the Deputy Director General, substantive, and I have served Uganda Civil Aviation Authority for 5 years in that capacity. And Chair, substantively, I'm authorized to attend and present and represent Civil Aviation Authority. My apologies for not having introduced myself as Deputy Director General at the beginning, but I also want to confirm that I've been acting Director General for this period for now 33 days since the Director General.
Before you go to the acting role, we want a copy of your appointing instrument. We want to appreciate it ourselves.
Yes.
Not for you according yourself power. Let's read the document. Okay. Because the authority is not by implication, it must be by appointment.
Instruments.
That's fine, Chair. We'll get that copy too, okay, so that it's printed and you'll be able to receive it.
Now on the directive, take us through what was contained in the directive. And what are the reasons?
About, I think, a month or so, we'll get the directive. I'll be comfortable to read it verbatim because some of the words I may not state them the way
you
they
said
are.
You have it in soft copy. Could you use a soft copy? If your secretary confirms it is the one? Because lately we have been seeing so many documents on social media. Yeah. And sometimes you see a presidential secretary saying this is a fake. Now, you may dismiss or reprimand people on a questionable directive.
You can check. Joseph, Chair, allow us time. He's checking. Let him see if he can get the email and I'll be able to read it verbatim.
Okay. We shall not move away from that because we need the chronology. We need the build-up of this. Yes, Honorable.
Just a quick one, Chair. Once again, I'm Salongo Richard Senteza from Rugazi. The Deputy
Director
Your
General.
title? The Deputy Director General is by law appointed as such. Does she need further instructions when the substantive DG is out of office, or by statute you take over that role? So what is the essence of this additional document written in whatever language? Is that how you do it, or you follow the law as it is?
Yes, Honorable.
Honorable, we are privileged, our leadership here, they are legal people, and they have much comfort in the leadership. But my submission, Madam Director General, Chair, in the 10th Parliament, when we were in the Committee of Fiscal Infrastructure, went through this when the CA Act. So, Madam DG, these are land people. If you have even that, they call it Act, yes, you can also share, because these people know that's where what they understand much. But as much as I know, Honorable Chair, is that she's appointed and the Act states so. So when you give the Chair the Act, they will interpret very fast and you unnecessarily get these questions.
Honorable Swaka, the leadership has access to the Act.
Yeah.
You don't need the act.
So you just quote. So maybe they quote the law. But Chair, I know I'm comfortable with you in issues of law, with your team. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyway, for record, we are an accountability committee. It is not enough that you have a good introduction or you have appeared in a photo somewhere titled Director General or Deputy. We scrutinize the record, and it's incumbent on the witness to table and substantiate, and to want to appreciate the roles of a deputy from the appointing instrument, and that's why we sought for the same. Number two, but I take we take your observation that any such should also be referred to a structural interpretation. And no, let me protect him. Let me protect him. I understand where. No, I think his submission was in good faith, just referring to the law. Have you got the directive?
Yes,
yes,
Chair.
Director General.
Thank you very much,
Let's
Chairman.
come back this way.
I have the directive dated 24th of July 2026.
24th of July.
2026.
Yes.
Written to the Honorable Minister, Minister of Works and Transport.
Before going to the content, who signed the directive?
Chair, the one I'm reading is the Attorney General.
It is signed by the Attorney General.
Yes.
Does the Attorney General have such power?
Maybe acting DG
Maybe let's
first read it.
Okay, let's
suppose that would be a letter, not a directive.
Do we read the Attorney General or the directive?
We want the directive
first.
Okay.
Yeah.
Directive.
Get the directive. Get the directive.
Well, the Attorney General, I think, offers opinion.
Procedure.
Or communicated the.
Yes, procedure.
Thank you very much, Chair. Once again, my name is Eliabu Natulinda, MP Ndogwa County West. Chair, there is a difference between advisory from the Attorney General and a directive from the President.
We have it.
The Attorney General is the chief legal advisor of government, and directives, from my understanding, only emanate from the President of the Republic of Uganda, who is the executive officer of this country. So there should be a distinction between the two letters. Thank you.
Thank you. I think the member is right. Let's get the directive. I believe the Attorney General, Solicitor General, would now come in on an advisory note. Have you got the directive?
Yes, Chair. Thank you
It is
very much.
signed by
Chair.
who? Start from
Signed
this.
by the President,
On which
Yoweri
day?
Kaguta Museveni, President of the Republic of Uganda, signed on the 17th of July,
Okay.
2026.
It's addressed to who?
It addressed to the Honorable Fred Byamukama, Minister of Works and Transport, Kampala.
How did you access it?
It was shared with us by the Minister. The Minister wrote to us a formal letter.
You have a copy of the
instructing us to
Minister's letter?
implement. Yes, we have it. It
You
will
have
also be put together. Chair, allow us to put together the chronology, right from the letter from the President to the letter from the Minister to the letter to the board, because we have all these
Okay.
together.
For now, sorry from them. Start with that.
Thank
What
you,
is the
Chair.
content? But civil aviation transacting on the phone only.
Chair, we did.
Yet you are invited. We rescheduled a meeting.
Chair, my apologies. When we prepared, Chair, we didn't plan well, and I apologize on behalf of the team for not having planned to bring the file which refers to the presidential directive.
Okay.
Our sincere
What is
apologies
the
on that,
content
Chair.
as you prepared
The content is headline, Rampant Corruption at the Ministry of Works and Transport and the Uganda Civil Aviation Authority. I've been getting reports that there is massive corruption in the Ministry of Works. Proof of this corruption has been the delays on roads construction, reconstruction of repair and maintenance. There are abundant examples everywhere, such as the Mpigi Expressway, which is now under investigations, the shameful Mubende, Fort Portal Road, and the embarrassing Masaka, Mutukula Road, the Jinja Road, the unfunctioning scanners at Entebbe Airport, the recent attempts by thieves to hike the costs of AFCON roads from shillings 4 billion per kilometer to shillings 8.5 billion per kilometer, etc., etc. On account of this betrayal, I'll use henceforth 2 weapons, one, the criminal and the administrative. In order to start on the cleanup by the authority given to the President by Articles 99 of the 1995 Constitution, I direct that the following persons in the Ministry of Works and Uganda Civil Aviation Authority are with immediate effect retired in public interest. 1. Engineer Twesi Ronald. 2. Engineer Soma Ayubu. 3. Miss Helen Wenene Mary. 4. Engineer Olaki Ronald. 5. Engineer Chitonsa Stephen. 6. Engineer Kisambira Rogers. They should vacate office immediately, organize for their handovers. I'll look for patriotic Ugandans to replace them. Signed, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, President of the Republic of Uganda. Copy to His Excellency the Vice President. Copy to the Honorable Prime Minister. Copy to the Minister of Public Service, and copy to the Attorney General.
Maybe if you pause there, members, colleagues, you recall when I was giving an oversight, an overview of the Civil Aviation Authority, I told you that one of the observations by the Auditor General are the non-utilized assets, the assets in the billions. And one of them mentioned is the baggage scanner. Baggage scanner, the aerodrome of Masindi, the unimplemented projects and procurements, which occasion an additional cost per year. Now, when you hear that in the same line and language, if that letter allegedly called a directive from the head of state is also mentioning aspects of scanners, you can see that as we interrogate Civil Aviation Authority, there's a lot to dig, because now it presupposes that some persons and individuals actually occasioned this. Beyond another reason, when we interface with that, there has been even attempts or efforts to interdict and position some other individual in the same role. What is before us is a very significant task, and that's for us to appreciate that we must interrogate the basis and this particular aspect to the latter. Having received the directive, what followed?
Chair and members, on the 21st of July 2026, the Minister of Works wrote a letter to the Director General Uganda Civil Aviation Authority in Entebbe. The headline is Rampant Corruption at the Ministry of Works and Transport and Uganda Civil Aviation Authority. I have received a letter reference PO 28 dated 17th July 2026 from His Excellency the President of the Republic of Uganda. A copy is attached for ease of reference. In this letter, he indicated that in order to start on a cleanup of the Aviation Authority from corruption, the following people have been dismissed with immediate effect. You should immediately organize their handover offices. 1. Engineer Soma Ayub, Director of Airports and Aviation Security. Ms. Helen Wenene, Head of Legal. Engineer Twesi Ronald, Head of Contracts Committee. Signed, Fred Byamukama, Minister of Works and Transport. Copied to Honorable Minister of State for Transport, Honorable Minister of State for Works, Acting Permanent Secretary, Minister of Works and Transport, and the Chairperson Board of Directors of Uganda Civil Aviation Authority.
Now, before that, did they say the people formally hand over, or they just went missing?
Chair, they said people have handed over
all the properties and
yes,
assets?
Chair. Yes, Chair.
Okay, proceed.
That is the letter from the Minister.
And how did you process now the new persons in acting capacity?
Chair, by appointment.
We need a copy of that of those letters as well.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you have the letter? But let me explain as we get the letters.
Yes.
Chair, by the Human Resource Manual, the people who were terminated are a responsibility of the Board of Directors of Uganda Civil Aviation Authority. Therefore, immediately I received this letter, I formally communicated to the Board of Directors of Uganda Civil Aviation Authority. And the board of directors held a meeting where they received the letters.
Who are the board members?
The chairperson is Honorable Stephen Kavuma, is the chair. Justice Emeritus.
Yes.
We have Madam Ethel Kamba. We have Semgoma, Minister of Finance, the Accountant General, Sylvia Namubiru, and then Tom Chigundu, and then Sam, then Bulindi, and then Honorable Sam Lubowa, and Dr. Andrew Chero. Those are the board members.
Do you normally interact with the board?
Chair, we do.
Does the board supervise or oversee civil aviation?
Chair, it does, and it fulfills its obligations through the different processes of meetings.
That is your opinion. How then could they fail to see the people they approved as a board, and it's a head of state somewhere communicating to the minister communicating to you before action is taken? Do you find it proper that the board has effective oversight on the affairs of the authority, or they were just appointed and they only receive emoluments?
Chair, in my position, I believe they have effective oversight of the institution, and I can't speak for them on the question you asked, whether they were.
I think we shall need to engage with the board. We cannot have a situation where the board could not see. It has to call an intervention of someone somewhere above to occasion change, and through the minister, then the acting ED, it becomes questionable as to whether this board exists or they actually function. So I think part of our engagement, we shall have to summon or invite and have a discussion with the board as to whether they are effective or sleeping on duty. Because with this revelation, the functionality of the board becomes an issue, and it becomes of concern to us. Now, you proceed.
Chair, as I was referring to the same communication, the board held a meeting and appointed the 3 people in acting position. Chair, we have a succession plan.
So the board just meet to appoint and dismiss. Do you have nothing? What is the role of the board?
Chair, I've not gone through, but the board cannot sit and just dismiss. Chair.
Okay. Yes, Honorable. First introduce yourself. You have just come.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman and members, my name is Mpindi Bumari. I am a National Member of Parliament representing persons with disability and a member of this committee. Mr. Chairman, the procedural matter I'm raising, I feel we are not proceeding well, because first of all, you were interrogating the circumstances in which the Deputy Director General was appointed, and now she is now in acting capacity. But before we finish that, we are going into other things. Now we're on the board. Now, so I'm feeling we are taking a lot of time without concluding the first things, which will enable us move.
Yes, order.
There is no order on proceeding.
Honorable Chair.
The honorable member should know the proceeding.
Okay, you can hold at that. What is?
So, Mr. Chairman, I haven't raised my procedural matter. What kind of? I thought honorable is a senior member.
Out of order. First of all, you can
I have not raised the procedural matter, therefore you can't raise the order. Please.
Let me guide the 2 of you. Now, Honorable Mpindi conclude, then we receive his. Conclude in a minute.
Therefore, Mr. Chairman, are we proceeding well in the way we are jumping from this to the other, and yet we have little time?
Maybe just to guide. Indeed, we have several issues we are looking at, and we are trying to iron out the preliminaries. Which arose from the way the team introduced themselves. First off, first of all, wanted to ascertain the capacities of the people before us. And from the introduction, we realized that several were in acting capacity, which triggered our interest to understand how did we arrive at this. When we go to the substantive aspects of accountability, of the absence or presence of the accounting officer, we shall equally interrogate that further. But for now, the team leader introduced herself as acting director general and several others. So we are trying to appreciate this background. Then we arrive at now a capacity to present on matters of account and audit. But as the deputy, we believe for now she has the capacity to answer these preliminary aspects before we rule on whether we can proceed with her on the other matters. But we take your concern. Is the order still relevant? Beyond the record. Beyond the record.
If I'm recording, Honorable Chair, now I'm reversing. So is the Honorable Member Mpindi Bumali is he on order to divert the committee, and when the chair is guiding and when he has come in late, is he in order?
Well, I had permitted him to introduce himself much as he came in late, and we have accordingly guided because he missed the introductory part, and from where we were, I think he thought it's prudent that we start on the aspect he had mentioned, and he seems to have accepted the guidance we offered, so he now is now in order. But maybe before you, I think you were concluding on something.
No, Chair, I was explaining, I think, on the board,
Yes.
the appointment,
Yes.
and I said a board meeting was held by the full board. The letter of the president was served to them, the letter from the minister was served to them, and a decision was made by the board. And 3 people were appointed in acting positions, and the 3 people are as part of our succession planning that we have.
Now, when the board sat, just for us to be sure that the board exists, how many members of the board sat?
Chair, I'll verify whether they had 100%
Do we have an
from the
officer?
corporation secretary.
Corporation secretary,
But
how many
it's-
members of the board sat?
And it should be included in among the documents you're going to avail,
Yeah.
the extract from the
Beyond the
names
record,
of the board.
don't hide away from responding. Ippoliti Kuloza.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. The board indeed sat, that is true. Being in a conflicted position, since I was one of the members being considered, I was requested, I was not permitted to be part of the meeting. But I can confirm that we did facilitate the meeting in its taking place.
So in your absence, who was there? Honorable Secretary. In your absence, who acted as the secretary? Because from the outcome, the documents can really account for who was there and who was taking minutes.
Chair, the minutes of this meeting can be shared, but the board appointed one of its directors to take the minute of that meeting.
And from the minutes, how many members sat of the board?
The Chair, these minutes will be provided because I don't have them on me here.
Who may have looked at from your communication, Madam Acting Director General?
Yes, Chair.
How many members of the board?
Chair, allow us to also get the copy of the minutes, because as not part of the board meeting, but allow us to get a copy of the minutes before this meeting ends, and you'll have them, Chair, in the folder.
Did you receive copies?
We must be having copies of the minutes, Chair. That's why I'm requesting that we proceed to get the minutes from the board, submit them to you. What we received, Chair, is the board resolution that instructed us to proceed to retire the 3 officers and proceed to appoint the 3 people in acting position.
The board resolution was signed by.
It was signed by the board chairman.
Is it the practice that is signed by the chairman?
Yes, Chair, when it's a full board, it's signed by the board chairman. If it's a board committee, it's signed by the specific chair of the specific committee.
Well, we need to interrogate some of these specifics. That's what we appreciate, that the people executing on behalf of the authority, the mandate, are effectively and accordingly appointed. But we're also concerned that the board could not force. Do you have any previous record where the board raised the concern over the said individuals, where you said interdicted, suspended? What did you use?
Chair, we don't have a record, and I want to request that that question, Chair, is given to the board, because I'm not in position, Chair, to speak on the board on the behalf of my board.
I just want on your side as the technical team, in charge. Have you ever received any communication from the board or concern over the said individuals?
No.
So the board probably was not aware or did not follow up.
I can't comment, Chair, but we never received any communication from the board chair against the 3 officers.
Thank you. Honorable Naki.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think there's also the HR manager here. In every organization that is following proper corporate governance, they must be having performance reviews. Now, if you go to the record of these staff who were suspended or were retired, what was their performance score? Or was it part of, or were there some issues raised in their performance review during the course of their work, during the staff appraisal? Because those matters should have been captured in the staff appraisal in case they were doing some uncouth things.
Human resource, you are going to answer, but let me first speak this. Honorable, let me begin with him, then Dr. Batua, then Secretary.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Chair, I will not stop thanking you, but most of these questions, as my senior Honorable Pindi raised, came out of the inefficiency of the witnesses. Madam Director General, if you had brought all these letters, it will, but now you see what you have brought. But, Honorable Chair, for the first time, I've seen you as a chair of this committee, but also a good opposition member. Together with the president, you are now moving at the same pace. Because you raised the issue. Let me substantiate.
Okay,
Chair.
okay, substantiate your issue.
Yes, Chair. Why I'm seeing you moving with the president on the same lane is that you raised the issue of the troll. They call it troll. Screen
baggage scanner.
Baggage scanner, and the president is always raising the same. So you are on the same on the same point on the issue of corruption, Chair. That one I have to note it, and it has to be on record. But what I wanted to bring on, Chair, information is coming out that the people who are interdicted. That's why maybe they say in human resources there is no record. They are not the very people. So you guided well that you will interest yourself further in the baggage scanners. And also in the Committee of Infrastructure, we shall also handle it. But what I'm telling you that information is coming, but since you said you are going to handle, that there was what we call, you shoot a wrong target. But the issue is fighting corruption has to be fought. And on record, Chair, the president picked that from you. I don't know whether you are the one who picked from the president, but at least you are moving in the same direction, fighting corruption.
Maybe to guide the member, as I ably introduced in our communication, now these matters are captured by the Auditor General, and I mentioned that I mentioned about idle assets, where I even tried to understand the figures, whether it is in trillion or billion. The 17 billion of assets which are idle. Now, among these assets identified by the Auditor General at the is the baggage scanner, among others, and several other unfinished projects. and which has a possibility of occasioning a loss. Now, our concern is, why shouldn't the board, as a supervisor of these particular directors, have taken all this long, if in any case they identify these errors, or totally fail to identify this anomaly, that it calls for another entity somewhere or person somewhere to now direct the minister. Now, the chronology speaks to probably a situation where we need to interrogate as to whether even the board functions, exist, and how do, if there is no proof that they conducted their oversight duties over these directors and the entity. Now it becomes concerning, because our interest is who failed, who acted wrongly, who omitted to act where they ought to have acted, and by insinuation there is a possibility of a financial loss. As we interest ourselves in this, and two, with these non-functional items, it also inconveniences a Ugandan, a traveler, and probably service providers. Now, as to how many people identify this anomaly, of course you mentioned the president, but I also have my own president. That's the challenge. My president also, from the party where I come from, by appointing me as the chairperson of Cosase and my deputy, our assigned duty is to hold government and to keep government in check on behalf of the leader of the opposition. So we transact, but with neutrality and in accordance with the law and the rules. And we shall accord a fair opportunity to all parties that appear. However, whether there is a fight against corruption or not, all what matters is that the Constitution avails powers to Parliament to hold and to scrutinize entities and government in line with the law, especially by holding accountable all accounting officers and leaders over matters and observations by the Auditor General. So I believe we are speaking the same thing, only that we have a different background and orientation. You were just doing some simple campaign. But even for us, as on our side, when we are positioned as chair and deputy, now we exercise neutrality to afford a fair hearing, but we must be alive to the law. As to who identifies the error is another issue. How we process it, it is this committee. Yes, Honorable Batua.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. Allow me introduce myself, Chair, Vice, and the colleagues and our witnesses. I'm Dr. Batua Timothy Rusala, Member of Parliament of Jinja Southwest in Jinja City, the Member of Parliament where you find Chimaka Aerodrome. Now, Honorable Chair, as we interrogate the Auditor General's report, the questions we've prompted in the preliminaries establishing the legality of the people in the various positions as acting, I believe will form part of our report. But while doing that, we also got communication from the President, a communication requiring officers of this agency to be retired in public interest, which the Minister communicated, demanding that they be fired immediately. Now, my concern, which I think will be important for the report, especially when reporting on that matter, is whether the internal auditor of the agency, if there is one, has any report in regard to the conduct of the people who are dismissed in public interest. If there is any report, because I believe we may not find it in the Auditor General's report, but it's a matter that has arisen that will form part of the report. So if there is any information to that effect, it will also help give a very good direction in our reporting on those people. Otherwise, if there is no report, then we have descended in what we are seeing, politicians doing the work that should be done by such a person. Is what we see the Minister of Local Government doing and his counterpart. So let's see what this UCCA appears, the shape of UCCA. UCAA.
Uganda Civil Aviation Authority.
Okay, let's see
So
the shape of Uganda Civil Aviation Authority in terms of self-control.
Let me also guide before you. Let me also guide you here. When people mention and colleagues mention, one mentioned infrastructure, one mentioned this, we are less bothered by what happens elsewhere. The report of the Auditor General for Uganda Civil Aviation Authority was sent to Park Cosase, this committee. And as to whether someone appears elsewhere, those are other matters. But for matters of accountability, it is here, and we shall not take reference to what another committee had. We want to hear. And every document must be submitted here, because on matters of accountability, the rules are very clear. The audit report is sent to Park Cosase. And they also want to use this to air out and clear to some accounting officers. When they appear before other committees, they think they have appeared before Parliament, so it is enough. On matters of accountability, we have standing committees, and Park Cosase is a standing committee on matters of accountability and processes all audit the reports as forwarded by Parliament to the committee. So whether you appeared before another committee and you had a similar discussion, they have a finding they want to reach at. But for us, it is accountability. We want to find who spent what, where did we benefit, who caused a loss, and we have the sole mandate to report back on the audit reports. So I wanted to clear that for this and also for other entities. Honorable.
Thank you, Chair.
Okay, he's.
Okay,
let him finish and then.
This is not Luero.
Honorable, that is not part of what I permitted you to do.
I will do it.
So let me try to say, Honorable Secretary, then back to you because of your own error.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Chair. Just seeking for your indulgence that as you are proceeding, whichever we are interested in, it's not available. So that is where I feel like, with the support of colleagues, these people to give them some time to organize themselves better, so that we can move when we're on the same page. Because, Chair, whichever you are asking, it's not available, we are not prepared, we are this. So that's what I was seeking from you, Chair.
Thank you. Yes, Honorable.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I want to believe that we have the right people before us. My name is Martin Muzale, the MP for Buzaya, that is Kamuli District. Chair, I am disturbed that the President identifies the corrupt out of a pool of many people in the authority, and the Minister makes a statement which is also disturbing me, that civil aviation is a rotten entity. It's full of corrupt people. I don't know whether by that statement I should brand all these ones who are here that they are corrupt. But what again disturbs me that he went ahead to pick a few. Now, Madam Acting Director General, are you comfortable with that statement from your supervisor that you are presiding over a rotten entity? And two, were there some signals or indicators before your boss that at least these people who were actually retired in public interest had some issues to do with corruption? Lastly, Chair, my last disturbance comes from the fact that the Director General is not corrupt, but the people before him are very corrupt. I thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Honorable.
Thank you, Chair. Before us, I want to believe that these are able members. I have seen a few that before, but there is one particular on a brigadier general. The brigadier general, I want to believe that the entity has what is called investigations department, and the president, the commander-in-chief, in his wisdom, to deploy a brigadier general in such an entity, he has high confidence and trust in him. Maybe the brigadier general could also try to inform us of what the status of this entity could be, so that we can be comfortable. Because when I see a brigadier general in an entity, I feel very happy. And given the signal he's looking at me, I think he can ably tell us some things. But also, Chair, from what I have been also getting as they try to process the other papers, Chair, there is the issue of these payments, long-term parking at the airport. Who is in charge? Who is in charge of that? Because there is an issue of payments, especially to that company. Who is in charge? Do they really remit the money to government? We need to investigate that as well, Chair, and I hope that this able team will be able to also respond to such. Thank you, Chair.
Chair, as you peruse through the papers.
Thank you. Before you, Honorable Naki.
Chairman, I think right now, like the issues is raising, my friend Riab, the first question we have to determine is whether these people are rated before us, before we go into the real matters. We have so many matters we need to raise, but we are holding back because we need to first determine whether we are continuing with this team. And in my opinion is that I think they are rated before us, and they have the capacity to represent the organization, but that is subject to your ruling, and then we can now go into the real matters of this committee.
Yes, Honorable Martin.
Chair, you have a table just you prepared for the guests, but you've not invited them.
You are invited to that table. That one is clear.
Chair, as the guests, now that Chair has okayed them, I just wanted on a lighter note, Honomzale wanted to know and wanted the accounting officer to comment on the minister's submission, whether you are rotten or what. I would advise you keep it at that, not to mention anything. I would beg to submit, accounting officer.
Thank you. I think let me guide before they respond. Number one, all the information and facts that are coming our way and to our attention will be subject to interrogation. We don't want to say that we are forming opinion at this stage. And it is very effective and in order that we appreciate how the entity we are interfacing with is constituted and transacting. Because every change as made within occasion a cost and speaks to accountability. And that's why it is prudent that we ascertain these administrative issues, which are according to the letters. The letters, and that's why we shall also be interested to look at the Attorney General's opinion, because ordinarily anyone may think that there is an anomaly here. Now there are two aspects. These anomalies cited, aspects of corruption, aspects of the idle properties, mismanagement, but there's also an aspect of who, as to who is actually responsible. But ABIB does require thorough scrutiny. And even as we internalize the report of the Director General, we shall reach there. Did you have anything quick to respond to?
Chair and members, once again, I want to apologize that we are not able to have the appointment letters and the other letters that you requested of us this morning. We could have thought through it much as it hadn't been requested of us, but prudence would have required that perhaps we would have thought of it quickly, that by having acting people in positions would have carried those copies. But we have carried the information that had initially been requested of us, Chairperson, and would be happy
maybe
to hear from you to guide us on the way forward, Chair.
Maybe colleagues have received I've received here one of the documents we asked for, appointment as Deputy Director of Uganda Civil Aviation Authority on contract terms to Miss Olive Birungi Lumanya, 18th December 2025. Tenure 4 years. In your introduction, you said you have been serving the authority for 5 years. First, clear that before you continue.
Chair, this is a renewed contract.
So there's another contract.
The first one I served, which expired, and this is a new contract.
Which one? This is the new one.
Yes, Chair.
New one from 2025.
Yes,
so it is
Chair.
still running.
Yes, Chair, it is running.
Okay. And number two, duties and description. Want to now usher in the aspect of whether she's competently before us. The appointing letter says, as per Part 4, Section 16 of the Civil Aviation Authority Act, Cap 354, and as per attached job description. Now, colleagues, I want to take you now straight to the Act, and we read it and interpret. Under Section 16, Deputy Managing Director. The law provides, these very small letters, there shall be a Deputy Managing Director who shall assist the Managing Director in the performance of his or her duties and perform the duties of the Managing Director in the absence of the Managing Director. Number 2, the Deputy Managing Director shall be appointed by the Minister on the recommendation of the Board and shall be responsible to the Managing Director. That is the language of the law. The section ends there. Any input? We are looking. Yes, Honorable Senteza.
Thank you, Chair. That takes me back to the question I posed. If Section 16 clearly provides that the Deputy Managing Director shall substantially become the MD in the absence of the MD, the substantive MD, then what's the use of these instruments? Acting capacity, isn't that outrageous or ultra vires? Thank you.
I think, is that question going to her or it is for us? Yes,
Chair, what you are reading, the Act, these people's titles are Director General. Now we are talking about MD. Are we reading? Are you sure, Chair, you have an updated? Because Director General, this is MD, but you will wait for your guidance. Are you reading the updated Act or the old UPC one?
I believe this is the Act. We shall only need to understand how the terms are interchangeably used as Deputy Director General.
Because that Act, Chair, we amended in 10th Parliament. That's why they became Director General.
And our legal counsel is your Act, the present Act. You be on the record because we receive technical support from our legal counsel. Yes, Yes, legal counsel. He wants to establish whether the act you have provided is the right act.
Yes, Honorable Chair, the act I have provided is the current act.
And these are the reference to the terminology. I'm also reading it from the appointment letter, and they are referring to the said section. So the language of the section is deputy managing director, and then we have the managing director under section. So Honorable, did your act pass, the one you are talking about?
Chair, that's where in the last time there were managing directors, and the act was passed on this floor of Parliament, in 10th Parliament. I remember, Honorable, you were there, and we changed the name. So I don't know. So anyway, the technical officers may give you an outdated thing, Chair.
In
I'm
your
not saying.
Yeah.
But the issue is the naming, but
the content remains
is the same. Yes. Thank you, Chair.
So the substance of the provision remain. So maybe let's interrogate also this aspect. Legal counsel, are you sure of your submission? Reconfirm.
Honorable Chair, let me confirm and get back to you.
Okay. But the provisions are the same.
Chair, the provisions may be the same, but we changed some few things. But when I read saying MD, I was even my senior here.
We need to interrogate.
She might be reading an old thing.
The legal counsel is protected. She's going to avail,
yes, Chair,
to cross-check. And yes, Director.
Chair, allow me to ask our Corporation Secretary acting to clarify on that also.
Yes, Corporation Secretary.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair and members. Just to set the record straight, Chair, in 2019, this act was actually amended, and that is when the redesignation was effected from Managing Director to Director General. Chair, the same amendment of Section 16 only redesignated the titles within, but did not take away 16.1 that you read, its substance.
So the substance of the section remains.
Only the title.
Only the title changed.
Was changed, yes. And then there's a question asked by Honorable, my land friend, about the whether or not it's not redundant to have an appointment letter. Chair, the amendment of 2019 that I've referred to under Section 15B does actually provide that the Director General may in writing delegate to the Deputy Director General. So the issue of writing has been left as a discretion. While it is true that in his absence, it automatically falls to the Deputy, there is a may, as and when need may arise. Chair, I do submit.
And I think it is procedurally right that you don't assume as to when and how the director is in office or absent. The writing is indeed a decent approach to communicate absence and to delegate responsibility. So I think the aspect of writing may not have a serious consequence, save a positive consequence that the deputy is well aware. Now, in matters of accountability, the second question is, does it therefore fall that the deputy is an accounting officer? Honorable Naki, you have been good at this. Yes, Honorable Batua?
For the time I've sat close to the legal person here, by osmosis, I got some legal knowledge. I think, I believe in our law, the Public Finance Management Act, that the powers of the accounting officer are designated by the PSST. are designated by the PSST, and they are non-negotiable.
And I just want to relate this, that Madam Olive, Miss Olive Virungi, in your own response to the committee, you said that I wish to inform you that the Director General, who is the accounting officer of the authority, is currently out of the country and is not available on the scheduled date. You signed as the Deputy Director General and as the Acting Director General, and you notified us in writing that the accounting officer, who is the Director General, is out of country. Now, assist us appreciate whether you are the accounting officer and or whether the Director General, the names are not mentioned herein, is the accounting officer, because you must have had a very good background before you write. This letter was written to Parker Cosase by you on July 29, 2026.
Chair, I'm the accounting officer when I'm sitting here this morning. At the time I wrote that letter, the Director General was expected to be coming back on that same day. So the assumption was that if he's coming back and is going to be available for that meeting, we can request for a reschedule. So we interacted with him before that letter was sent. But Chair, in my acting position as Deputy Director General, I've taken decisions on behalf of the organization. I've attended the Auditor General's meetings and responded to Auditor General's reports. I've done everything else that an accounting officer should and is obliged to do because of the powers of the Act that gives me the position of Deputy Director General. But I leave the decision to you, Chair, and the members to make that decision, whether I'm a rightful accounting officer to sit in here and respond on behalf of Civil Aviation Authority. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Of course, I wanted to vary your submission. By doing administrative work, we have no problem. Even us here, we are questioning you on several other issues. But accountability is a statutory role. That's why we interrogate it further. Whatever knowledge is within your reach, we can seek to learn from. And equally, the meetings you have attended, they are good, but they don't make you the accounting officer. They interact with you because there is some knowledge and information in your knowledge. However, we just want to ascertain on this. Yes, Honorable.
Thank you, Chair. From my understanding, and I've also made my own research from Ministry of Finance, the role of accounting officer can only be delegated once it is put in writing by that very person who was given the authority. Let's say the PSST normally appoints accounting officer. In this case, it should have been the Director General of the Uganda Civil Aviation Authority. So if the Director General is on leave or he is indisposed, by the time you act as the acting Director General, you must have that power, that position to have the accounting powers. So in this instance, you cannot come here and say you have accounting powers when it is not put in writing. I thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Before that, we are interrogating a situation where Ms. Olive herself wrote talking about an accounting officer in her own write-up to the committee. Now, this presupposes some knowledge within her, whether he was supposed to return or not, but by the time she was writing, he was not here. And her appointment letter isn't elaborate as that. We are yet to cross-check also with the Act. Now, what was your input?
Chair, that's why I said I thank God you're a chair and you're a landy person. Chair, as they get the rightful act, because the legal officer, I want to go on record, he brought an old thing. Chair, if we could interrogate and interpret for us the act. If the act which Parliament made gave what to be an accounting office of that entity through the act, then the letter of PSST to me becomes inferior to us. I said if, Chair.
Which section are you reading in the
I said I'm relying on you, Chair. I'm relying on you, but as we get the new act, not that old one, I guess. Chair, I'm relying on you to interpret for me as you wait for the real thing. Thank you.
So in a situation that you haven't read the relevant section, that would vary the legal counsel. Let's hold on that as well. Yes, Mr. Senteza, Honorable Senteza. Honorable Senteza.
Thank you, Chair. As far as interpretation of the Act or laws, it specifically that section 16. Miss, is it Olive?
Olive.
Yes.
Olive Virunji.
Miss Olive Virunji can only become an accounting officer in the absence, and mark the word absence, of the MD. As of now, the MD is in office, save that he's, for health reasons, he has stepped out. If, for example, the MD was either sacked or dies or something, whatever, then you assume that office by virtue of your being the DMG. Then that's when you automatically becomes that's when you automatically become the accounting officer. But in this instance, you have a substantive MD who is not in office for one reason or another, but he has not delegated those powers to you in writing as per section 15. So, Chair, I submit that she is not the accounting officer.
I think Honorable Senteza is trying to bring in a very interesting position. Whereas the Act provides that the deputy shall assist the principal and that in the day-to-day operations. Then in absence, then the deputy acts. Now I think he's bringing into interpretation the question of what the law meant by absence. Is getting fitment somewhere or being out of office interpreted as absence? That is I think that is your submission. So, Madam Olive, did the Director General write to you? Because on matters of accountability, we want to believe he was the accounting officer, and as you communicated, he must specifically write to you to act in his absence on matters of accountability.
Chair, the letter you have with you that I've provided is the kind of letter that the Acting Director General has been leaving behind with me.
Which one?
Which he also shares with the Board of Directors.
Which one?
Just bring it.
You haven't shared such letter?
Check. We'll share that. Let them check, because we have a letter that the Director General wrote to me asking me to act. Copy to the Board of Directors, and that has been the practice, Chair. But we are going to share that with you.
We need to interrogate that letter. It is not among these you have shared. I'm receiving a letter here dated 13th July 2026, away from office to Berlin. I will be away from office from 15th July to 10th August 2026, or as will be advised by the hospital to continue specialized treatment. Following up, while I'm away, you will take charge of the organization. You will take charge of the organization, in which case you will continue following up and leading teams in the performance of the organization activities. You are familiar with all the current organization activities as indicated below, plus emerging activities. We have already discussed some. The following, however, need to be focused on, following up on issues regarding Kabalega Airport, among others. I did engage the minister on the proposed meeting with the board. He has, however, please feel free to consult me on phone when you need us to discuss matters. Fred Keba Mwesije, CC Management. My challenge is that the memo used abbreviations from DIGI to DIGI. Madam Olive, I don't know if these are... the date is 13th July 2026.
To 10th August.
From 15th to July, 15th July to 10th August 2026.
So the letter has it expired?
So the delegation has expired. And two, they use the abbreviations. I don't know if they are tenable. DIGI to DDG. Is it what? So
Chair.
What if he made maybe a different?
Chair, just to add on the issue of July to 10th of August, he adds to say ORs will be advised by the hospital to Berlin to continue specialized treatment. Chair, he indicated this because when you're dealing with medical issues, you're actually not in control of what exactly happens. And because he's seen this trend happening since November, he made that provision there. On the titles, Chair,
is it a provision of the law that you use DIGI and
then maybe,
DDG?
Chair, just to add on number 6.
No, before number 6.
Okay.
These titles. Now, he was writing to who? And who wrote? Of course, he signed as Fred Bamwesige. How do you arrive at these titles? We need to appreciate that the letter was actually meant for you.
Chair, I want to believe, because this is an internal memo, and the internal memo at Civil Aviation Authority, Chair, we do use the titles. His title is DG, Director General, and my title is DDG, Director General. Chair,
do you have a document within the system that brought into use these abbreviations? Because for the act, we look into in the interpretation section. We don't have
Chair, we are proceeding to check the human resource manual, but the letter is signed by Fred, both at the front and at the back, as authenticity.
That one I appreciate.
Letter,
He signed and wrote a name without title.
2 pages, yeah.
However, it is not addressed to. We want to see to whom it was addressed.
Chair, we have the human resource manual of policies and procedures.
Yes.
July 2022, which lists the acronyms starting from the titles. We have DAS, Director of Airports and Aviation Security, DANS, Directorate of Air Navigation Services, DDG, Deputy Director General, DG, Director General, DHRA, Directorate of Human Resource and Administration, DISA, Directorate of Safety, Security and Economic Regulations, FSS, Flight Safety Standards.
Maybe that manual was approved by who?
Chair, this manual, as per the provisions, is approved by the Board of Directors.
And when was it approved? Why didn't he write to you as the way he signed? Wouldn't it be easier on such serious matters? Yes, Honorable Senator.
Chair, thank you once again. We appreciate the methodology of working.
Yes.
Thank you, Chair. I am cognizant of the fact that each institution has its internal management, and probably those acronyms
Continue.
Thank you, Chair. I was alluding to the fact that we appreciate that each institution may have its internal management and works modus operandi. But just like the DG wrote to you, notifying you that he will be out of office from 10th, whatever dates those were, and he indicated that should it require him to stay still in Berlin or somewhere else, he will. He should have done the same thing. That following my appointment, which was scheduled for this and between this and this, and we did not realize what we wanted to realize medically, I am still there. So he should have followed, he should have given you another instrument to that effect. But the one you've presented now, limitation.
Chair.
Thank you. Madam, I want to move away from this. Information?
Thank you, Chair. This country is governed by laws, and we must follow the law. Chair, the Public Finance Management Act, and also recently the Ministry of Finance released the Public Finance Charter, and the Ministry of Finance was particular in the 2026-2027 Finance Charter. It is specific that accounting officers are personally liable to make sure that they account to Parliament. So, Mr. Chairman, I want to ask whether we are moving right by the acting Director General to say that she has the authority when actually it is not in writing. I still insist we should not proceed because this permission is not put in writing. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. What did you have to say?
Like I said initially, I said the prerogative, Chair, of this decision rests in your hands. All we are trying to do is to submit whatever information we had to prove to you that I'm in this position by virtue of the acting position and in writing by the Director General, including, Chair, that I've attended other parliamentary committees in the same capacity, basing on the same letter. But, Chair, this I leave it to you, Chair, and the directors. You will guide us on the next action and will oblige with whatever decision you take as Chair.
Your last communication with the Director General, what was contained therein?
Chair, I don't have that in writing. It's on phone call.
Yes.
And Chair, if you're not well, you're not well. Because he told me that he had planned to come back on Saturday. And he rang us when we were next on Monday and said that due to the doctor's guidance, he's unable to travel back to Uganda. That's on phone, Chair. It's not in writing. What I have in writing is what expired.
What you have in writing is what expired. Yeah.
With the provision of saying that he will not be, if he's not well, it will depend on the doctors.
Yes, Honorable.
Chair, I think, Madam Deputy Director, your statements are making Chair. You will make Chair in a bad way because yourself you are saying your document is expired. You have what? But Chair, I don't know whether our clerk has gotten the act. Because where the Director General writes, if the Act of Parliament said that she can be accounting officer, anyway, that's what I want your guidance. I don't know whether it has got. Thank you, Chair.
Our legal counsel has got the right provision and has considered on the amendment she's now interrogating the content of section 16 to be certain. But needless to say, because of the nature and the revelation within Uganda Civil Aviation Authority, where even top managers and directors are now facing a possible interdiction. I want to use a favorable language. And several are in acting capacity. As we process the findings of the Auditor General, we must be particular, because we must identify and receive the appropriate answers and responses on the auditing queries and observations from the right parties. But so far, what we have identified, we shall need an interaction with the board. We need to appreciate its functionality and their failure to offer oversight, because part of the reasons mentioned for the interdiction are also observed by the Auditor General within the audit report 2024-2025, and now this speaks volumes. Number two, the nature of delegation. Of course, the language of the law has assisting the director, and also the aspect of absence, which require a thorough interrogation. But as well, with the presence of the Director General, as a preliminary, we are not yet convinced with the chronology of administration and the transition from the person absent to now you in your acting role. For the abbreviation, she has presented, what manual was it? We shall need a copy, a human resource manual, to clarify that these abbreviations, which are not provided for within the Act, were actually processed, because even the delegation was a bit tricky, that they did not mention her name or her full title. It has an abbreviation. We had to interrogate further to the manual, which I think provides for this abbreviation, and at that level, I would believe so. Now, as to whether this has been extended in writing, she has mentioned it has been extended verbally.
Which one, Chair?
Yes?
Chair, the acting letter that I read, it said I will be away from the office from the 15th July, 10th of August,
yes,
or as will be advised by the hospital in Berlin to continue with the specialized treatment. And I explained that I want to assume that he indicated it in here because the number of times when you go for medical attention, it's never clear whether you'll take 2 weeks or 3 weeks. And I think he was basing on the precedents that have been going on ever since he started going for the medical treatments. And I think that's why he put it in this letter.
So colleagues, let me ask here, how should we proceed in the circumstances? Yes, Honorable Kawalia, be on record.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, since you're the one in charge of this engagement, you have the right to make a ruling whether they should continue with us or whether we should discharge them. Then we can fix them to come to another date when the MD is there. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable.
Thank you, Chair. For the record, I'm Tuesige Stephen, Member of Parliament and a member of this committee. Chair, if we could be guided by Section 45 of the Public Finance Management Act, and specifically 6 and 7, there are clear provisions that the accounting officer role can be delegated. And to this, since the Acting Director General, who is the substantive Deputy Director General, has a letter assigning her the office, I really find no problem in us proceeding to to have them because they are legally here before us. I thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Honorable.
Yeah, thank you so much. And I want to say that I support the previous speaker because there is a dilemma right now. She thought that the other one would come in, but the time is going out. And when you are just starting, you don't have all the mandate. That's because you don't know. And indeed, we have tried to mention it severally here. And for that, my concern that it will, at the end we will find that even that nothing has been done because the expectation of someone coming back was she knew. But now as we continue, and yet we know that this entity has been on the, I can say that it is not good where we are coming from. But if we are coming from, and the entity which has embarrassed the government and the Ugandans, but it cannot, now no work can be done right now. So if we cannot write, then maybe we can say this, let us maybe give it another extra meeting, 2 weeks, and we see how we are moving. And also the other issue, we also to provide case, we should also talk, we are looking at today's status. Are we moving, or we are still where we are at that time? Or because everything is shortage, it's not very clear because of that. So if we can give some 2 weeks and then they come back, it would be better. That's what I can say. Thank you, Chair.
Yes, Honorable Zahara.
Thank you, Chair. Once again, my name is Honorable Zahara Malalibika, the MP for Machinde West. Honorable Chair, whereas Part 7 of the Public Finance Management Act, Section 45, subsection 6, stipulates well that an accounting officer may delegate a function or responsibility of accounting officer specified in this act to a public officer under the control of the accounting officer. And subsection 8 goes ahead to say, 7, where an accounting officer delegates a function or responsibility under subsection 6, the accounting officer shall give such directives as may be necessary to ensure the proper exercise or performance of the function or responsibility. And 8 concludes it with an accounting officer shall be personally accountable for a function or responsibility that is delegated under this section. Chair, my point here is there has been a reason as to why we are interrogating their legality while they are here. So, Chair, giving that background and the reasons best known to us as the committee, as we wanted very much to understand their legality while seated with us here, Chair, please, it is in your wisdom to decide on the way forward. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable.
Chair, I've liked your leadership. I know you have, but you are giving us an opportunity. And that's very good. I'm commending you. Yeah, because Chair can guide as a lawyer, but also as the Chair of the committee. But he's giving us an opportunity. But Honorable Chair, it's on record that the act we had was an old one. So that one. 2, now that the other act is Deputy Director General. Honorable Chair, I think you are deputy or is a vice. He cannot do unless you have delegated. But for deputy, is given powers by the Constitution. That's why even right now, the Deputy Speaker is the one chairing the House. And he will take decisions as the Speaker. But nonetheless, now that we have House at 2, It is past midday. As you make your ruling, Honorable Chair, because of the ping pong, I would request, unless the accounting officer says he can answer in these few minutes, that you guide, but in the wisdom, I would say the accounting officer, when you guide, goes back, and in the morning, since all these administratives, Chair, you will have guided, we just come and start work, and we pray that the real accounting officer will have wished well and come back. But I will wait for your guidance, Chair.
Okay, let me take this last Chairman. Yeah, of course, in delegation, they delegate the authority, but not responsibility. I think he has delegated the authority to her, but he remains ultimately responsible. In my personal opinion, of course, I would feel these people are capable of answering our questions, but legally, having read some acts here, I find that we may waste a lot of time dealing with the wrong people. So the way forward is let Madam Olive go and get some letter, maybe from his boss or from the permanent secretary of finance, just designating you as an accounting officer. Just a small letter, even 1 page. I mean a line, just saying, Olive, whatever, you are now the acting and accounting officer. Then we move forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Senator Lashley.
Thank you, Chair. I entirely concur with my neighbor here, and I have nothing useful to add. They should go home, prepare well, and come back when they are substantive in those capacities.
Thank you. Colleagues, I've given this an exhaustive approach so that we capture the minds of colleagues and accorded Civil Aviation opportunity to respond where possible. Now, the background of our interface, first of all, begins with the Auditor General's report and observation. As way back as 2024-2025 financial year. And subsequently, we have also learned in this meeting that in July the same year, the head of state wrote complaining about rampant corruption in the Ministry of Works and in Uganda Civil Aviation Authority. A letter I've received from the acting Director General. And what is cited herein, this is July 2026, is an observation to do with unfunctional scanners. Now, if you relate way back, that the Auditor General observed in 2024-2025, the same. This particular communication is dated 2026, meaning the situation has not in any way changed. When you look at the said leave by the Director General, it is also in the same July, the same month of this letter and directive. It's also seeking leave in July up to August. It may be true, it may not be true, but we want to take it as that. And the subsequent changes thereafter. Now, with that background and in the circumstances, we shall not be quick to believe that whereas human beings can fall sick, that rhetoric of away for medical reason can be tenable without substantial proof. In the circumstances that the deputy and the responding deputies were interdicted, someone may choose to be away just to avoid being part of this particular process. We are not yet convinced that the Director General, much as he may have been off and on, but the period and the background is questionable. It is July, the same month where you have a presidential directive, where you have this. But again, these same observations were already available within the Auditor General's report. So we cannot just take it lightly. And the communication, he chose to use abbreviation. We don't want someone to run away from liability and responsibility that I wasn't given the opportunity to clarify. Because I had some colleagues telling us, how can this one be interdicted and this one left? I think I had it from a member here. It's from you. Yeah. So we want to appreciate this background. We want to say that the accounting officer was misrepresented. However, even in the circumstances that we have a deputy, I believe from your own confession that the letter had a date, although she tried to explain by the other language of the letter which has no date. So I believe it will be prudent that for us to proceed well, you get a follow-up letter validating the extension, so that we don't rely on your phone conversation where we are not parties. That we talked on phone. I was even in Exco. I think I captured you well. We don't want to rely on your translation of the phone conversation, because you can say, I did not tell this to my deputy. At least for this in writing, we can be sure. But it may say, I did not say this to my deputy. Let's get an updated version of the delegated responsibility. And where possible, also secure a quick consultation with the PSST to ascertain as to whether with that delegation, you accordingly also take up such a role. We don't want you to be held in contempt at one stage, because an institution cannot have two accounting officers. It must be one accounting officer. Now, in circumstances that we are struggling to interpret absence and also assisting a deputy, in line with accountability, you may also need to seek some additional clarity. You also understand the background of your entity. A presidential letter is saying there is corruption. There is corruption. The Auditor General is also alluding to many of these revelations. But we can also not be held back because she needs to consult. As a committee, and with this observation, aware that the board also, we have issues to do with the board. We shall first of all proceed and invite the board, the board of Civil Aviation Authority, because we have respective issues and questions for them, and in line with the operation. We shall also proceed and inspect, make a spot-on inspection, physical inspection, because when you hear such allegations of unfunctioning scanners, now the public must be facing the inconvenience. We have within the audit report the same, and the Auditor General is just referring to some of these as idle assets that the Auditor General is not telling us that they are either faulty or not, they are just lying there. So it means we also need to do a physical inspection, and probably we shall ascertain who is in charge than making assumption. Clerk, when can we have this inspection? It looks urgent. Yeah. It looks urgent. We need to make. So colleagues, how is tomorrow if we make a spot-on inspection on civil aviation? Tomorrow morning at 8? Yes? Okay. At 8 tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow. So, Civil Aviation Authority, we don't want to hear about scanners, non-functioning and what have you. So tomorrow we are going to start with an inspection, and then we shall decide when to engage the board. I think 2 hours will be enough for us to inspect some of. We are inspecting only Entebbe. Entebbe. For any other distant place, we may appoint a team to delegate a team.
Honorable Chair, I beg your pardon on that matter. Can we extend to at least?
I will permit those who are busy and assign a team that must do this, because these entities cannot be allowed to play around with the time. And we had invited Civil Aviation earlier 2 weeks ago. They requested to appear today, and we are notified that the Director General will be here. Maybe as we tour around, some of the workers may tell us that the Director is hiding here. So we may also land on some additional information. Why should we abate a situation where they are receiving letters directing them on what to do, when we who must hold them accountable cannot hold them accountable on time. Now that they appear today without their substantive Director General, they have offered us explanation. We need to be certain. Clarification on what? Before you come on the record, it was what? Because I'm making a ruling. I think we can entertain that. He landed on some letter written by a dismissed or anti-excited officer, but we can interrogate that. So tomorrow we are going to make a spot-on inspection on Civil Aviation Authority. Our areas of interest will be the items. Our areas of interest are these idle items, which are also within the interdiction letters. We believe it is pertinent, and also other incidental matters. Let's make this spot-on inspection for 2 hours, probably, and ascertain ascertain what is on ground. We cannot leave the discretion of time to Civil Aviation Authority, especially where there are allegations of corruption, mismanagement here and there. Some officers are interdicted. I think we must also act within time. So I so direct that that Civil Aviation prepare to assist the committee in appreciating what is on the ground. Probably it is different, and probably many may have changed. As we continue with the interface, the date for our subsequent meeting will be communicated through the clerk, and also the date for the board will be communicated through the clerk. I saw advise and rule, meeting adjourned. Much obliged.
I want you to thank Nzikiriza to thank. Please allow me. Please allow me. Nebazeeko abantu. I want to thank you.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Imagine a place where healthcare meets compassion.
Others come in and they have families, but families have fallen apart.
Where every patient is treated with dignity and care.
We have just talked about one aspect of it.
Welcome to Mulago National Referral Hospital, the heart of Uganda's healthcare system.
The moment you discharge these patients home without giving them oxygen means you've really written a death sentence.
Takes almost 50% of the cases we are handling are road traffic accident.
We are encouraging the young ones out there to come and work.
From pediatric care to advanced organ transplants, Mulago's dedicated team is always ready to help.
And in Mulago, since we're a referral, we get the most complex of them because we just don't remove cancer, we remove even everywhere it wanted to spread so that the patient can survive.
Watch Inside Mulago every Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. on UBC TV, inspiring Uganda.
Operation Wealth Creation 2026-2031 in the media's eye. Operation Wealth Creation is a Ugandan presidential initiative launched in 2013 to transition subsistence farmers into commercial production. The aim was to boost household income and reduce poverty. The President of the Republic of Uganda, His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, has always appreciated the Chief Coordinator of Operation Wealth Creation, General Caleb Akandonaho Salem Saleh, for boosting Uganda's fight against poverty. UBC TV, with a mandate to promote government programs, brings you a special weekly program on Operation Wealth Creation activities in the country. Join us as we travel various regions to showcase Operation Wealth Creation successful stories. Don't miss every Sunday at 9 p.m. and a repeat on Tuesday at 1:40 p.m. on UBC, inspiring Uganda.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Did you know that our #1 value as a nation is to respect and protect the environment? With the current population increase of Uganda and industrialization, this has increased pressure on the natural resources, resulting into environmental degradation and global warming. Developing countries like Uganda could face 80% of the global climate change effects by the year 2030 if no action is taken. Join us here on UBC TV Inspiring Uganda on our Eco Plus program, where we bring you an in-depth analysis of issues that are disastrous to our environment every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. only on your loved station, the National Broadcaster.
BBC, inspiring Uganda.
Kubange wangu linechifu era nebote anjula njagala tuchireko kukyali sinasiya bakimanye nti nze nyabo omutima yaguwangula twalina nsi era emisinde yagina somutima gwe yagugoba love yo teyagifuna. Now that's how we be. Zendi machi yo. I'm in love with you, zendi my love now. We bamanyati wampangula. Nabazadde bayawe bachimanyi zendi my love now. Ne Yesu kumusalaba yalonda muze lubirizi. Yosefu butakufanana nayenga nawe ojjudde nnema. Maria butakufanana nayenga nawe ojjudde nnema. Singa love yayina empeke, nga love yayina empeke. Singa love yayina empeke, nga bw'olumwa 12. Singa love yayina empeke, nga love yayina empeke. Singa love yayina empeke, nga bw'olumwa 13. Ay 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 ay. 12. Ay 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 ay. 13. Ay 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 ay. 12. Ay 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 ay. 13. Data tuliva kugatwa njagala tube babiri for a long time nga gwe mama said data girl in love with your fire nakudata tuliva kugata njagala tube babiri for a long time nga gwe mama nga gwe papa boy in love with your fire. Mama fina tutela mukula sinzi atukumira kabani uno mukwano kumula kodimbi rode tuina poloni. Nabazadde bayawe bachimanyi zendi mu love nawe. Ne Yesu kumusalaba yalonda muze lubirizi. Yosefu butakufanana nayenga nawe ojjudde nnema. Love your fire. Singa love yayina empeke, nga love yayina empeke. Singa love yayina empeke. Omukwano gulumanga kadalidali. Osito takulaba osisitira. Eyasembayo neyasooka bwe bityo. Bwe bityo tebirimu byakusosola. Eyafuna aduulira munne mumwadiba. Atafuna yeewozaako mumwa papa. Labo yiko gwawo wenno kadi. Mulwa mukwano lave labika yakusala. Nze ndi mu mbejja njawukamuko. Tebambuza otula njagala kumaca mu ttundu konekiro ndi wambala super quality tugende ng'omanyi biwamma ebyange bikyukamuko yadde n'abangi olabe siri regular yadde abawala bakwefase siri regular yadde n'abakubanire siri regular era bagambe bamanye teri atali regular yadde n'abangi olabe siri regular yadde abawala bakwefase siri regular ekinyweze bakikwata ekyama ekinyweze sha tinze njagala nnyo emmere naye bwe bagireeta nga tekuliko my baby onsanga appetite embuze ndi mwana wa site and I love money but money without you teziwoma yadde mpeke I wanna let you know you are enough I wanna let you know you are enough mukwano gugaba gugwamala sembera basigaze birala nze nina kyesinga okwagala gwe gwe nina yegweyangatagera kwamala tewali kibulayo bwoba nange mukwano tewaba kibulayo tewali kibulayo bwoba nange mukwano tewaba kibulako I feel like I'm about to lose all my mind. You're way too good for me. I say what lie. Aina ebyobugaga byalina byatalina stamina ina. We doing this forever, baby. You're right, get in my Porsche, get in my Porsche, get in my Porsche, get into my Porsche. We don't need much, just us as we ride to the night. Yeah, basigaze birala nze nina moyoni kwangu ni wewe tu yegweyangatagera kwamala tewali kibulayo bwoba nange mukwano tewaba kibulayo Trace baby Pulling your desert don't see your face they can return send it Kola yametanga magineti niache nikupende Cause you're good for my soul and my body Kama ulikujisenge Kwa dalila mwuli continenti Elande kambe your wife and your side dish Dakomu kwa nuku wako daily Zero yiba banteke kwa playlist Bino chamanyi bikunyemela so come over here Ate tota Kuwana ye tota Biwa bikura tota Kusabe kuwana ye tota Omanye kwa kaluma nukulume Ngotesa kwa mugume Asitatanya kutuma Newanku watoli wachasa Omanye kwa kaluma nukulume Ngotesa kwa mugume Asitatanya kutuma Newanku watoli wachasa Hey boy, you come first, you will never last. Never let me create a turn or you a turn around. Come close and make me pass for the camera. Let me have you for this, not all I Cause what you're darling, nakubona muhati ne mumayindi. That's why you're falling deep. Ndiwo mi mama to sweet sounding. So can you now let me? Can you please let me touch you? Takolatima, blow you like a trumpet. Juririra wali kuluso visayo. Atotota, kubana ye tota. Biwa bikura tota. Kusabe kubana ye tota. Omenye kwa kaluma nukulume. Ngotesa kwa mugume. Asitatanya kutuma. Newanku watoli wachasa. Omanye kwa kaluma nukulume. Ngotesa kwa mugume. Asitatanya kutuma. Newanku watoli wachasa. See them girl ability. You're my one and only. I wanna love you till I can't. No. Yeah. My girl, she a Cinderella dance till she she for love. She not care for money even if you're big and tough. She do it for the love. She a liquor shot till she tipsy. That the dancing, yeah. Nah, you already know. When I see you, it's going down for sure. No be the egg girl, this ain't for sure. What we do, nobody got to know. Nah, you already know. When I see you, it's going down for sure. No be the egg girl, this ain't for sure. What we do, nobody got to know. Oh, nah, baby. I wanna love you daily. You know you're my one and only. I wanna love you till I get no more. Oh, nah, baby. You know I wanna love you daily. You know you're my one and only. I wanna love you till I can't. No. Gano mazima baby sikulimba. Na yegu no mukwano sigwa kutimba. Yona tubikole na yenga tulifeka. You and I don't even tell your bestie Gina. Evil eyes around, we should keep it on the low. Sing songs for you, yeah, you're my angel. I give the world to you, baby, call me Caesar. When you see me turn a little girl, you're such a teaser. Lisa, yeah. Nah, you already know. When I see you, it's going down for sure. No be the A-girl, this name for sure. What we do, nobody got to know. Oh, nah, baby. You know I wanna love you daily. You know you're my one and only. I wanna love you till I get no more. Oh, nah, baby. You know I wanna love you daily. You know you're my one and only. I wanna love you till I can't no more. You ask my mama. Babanga boy.
Wagenda n'oromansinga yali afunye ngule mu kweronda simanyi nakweyava ensonga naye nali musale mu kukwegonda kale bwetewe walokinga bwekkalirayo amala okunfunza n'omutakiraba wannuka gy'olumu omanye ku byenfumba bikuba solo ne bwe bapato kiki kye wannungira mu poto nafuka zolo kukumya enako toleka kulwanira mu ntalo mutima gugwo bigere bibyo birala byotafuna liso amaaso simu iyo waleti iyo byonna bitwale awatali bibuuzo mikono jange tu olukulaba kondozolera lakafu stayo mamona kukwadde dalu alikugambako musazo kutewa my day you design with you by my side bamuzuri wa light my big brother winding watambula then you already know we give it around Ipo Samsoni chini mani Mkubi pasale kutida Wakubuka mkwano chini mani Hawa tusuka Batulimba na yecha tuyamba Abana viteka bagambe Mwono yebu lipsinze mbetaku Beche mkusaba tuva wendi Jeff Chiwa na Ava Kodoka kujecho na jali Pass me the microphone, me asking for my money. It's so funny, make you wonder to manina ponyanya maganda. Today night or tomorrow night, we make it overnight and we make a good old in your Uganda. Today mo edeno, nine adameno, zari nechibala. Hingera tati love, yanga mazegaba, nezibende mokunala. Today mo edeno, nine even no, yali nechibala. She got the plan to love me and then you leave me balala and then you pull out mona Misuwa wambona bunaze mwena Siko wa mutima nonjuza yuza Kurokuba sebo walungiwa Yeah Zokunyiranga roza choba Wanefu kindowoza Wale mubi wa mitima Wabano wange Ochaguza na mifuga ndowoza Yeah Manyole koriki no Wano koko kuwagono seba original wakanya kupasiki no achala kufanya kama seba original. Mami, it's so funny, make you wonder to manina konyenya maganda. Today night or tomorrow night, we make it overnight and we make a good old in your Uganda. Today Prince
Okusima nkaeza ndio mkwezima virunjirunana mbayo ndundana kwanga pana nkwangenta iwakore bindota nchikorenta iwamanyo kuntuya onankeji ukunondisha tariwe haka kunondisha tingine hama omera buhamizo hama omera buhamizo hama omera buhamizo hama omera buhamizo
nzaguhora hafi humura nubwo ntaho nikora kesho tutavanikiwa iyi si ntamu wigira izakomeza ikuvangire hey urajya uba maso hazaza bagushuka bashaka ko urukundo turuhagarikaye abo tabikiriza walayi ni tayari kurwana no gupfaha cyuci tubikiye byinshi mu misiriza n'ibyisha wicika intege tuzabaho neza umunde ngukunde tubyizihize
omera buhamizo omera buhamizo
Sweetie darling, your life is worth it, babe. When I see you coming, everything just falls my way. Got it out, let me try. Forget it, I'm a quantum, we don't see that. Got it out, let me try. Forget it, I'm a quantum, we don't see that. Time after time, I give you love and affection, baby. You sing to me, I could feel. I'm a quantum, what to die. Kuma niliyokuongeza sasa sesamo wavula zidogonya kuma niliyokuongeza sasa sesamo wavula zidogonya chawenchisa mukagosa wenzisa takijompa yenchusa yegwegwesuzebi tiktak this love is a big banga ding danga nabobulamu wita kuma uliyokuyongeza sasa sesamu ovumula zedogonya uliyokuyongeza sasa sesamu speediwe nabona balobye niwatachijiwe apkama longuwe tebayisa kumachinga my vibe my vibe cause I'm so different. No matter how you hate me, what you gonna do? Papa God is my bestie. Balinga bala, they never thought I made it. What you gonna do? Deal with it, I made it. Balinga bala, biagana. Beba sibire beru basisika na mutiro baswala. Katiba ya magesi batuza no bushiko biagana. Beba sibire beru basisika na mutiro baswala.
kati bayiye magezi batuuza n'obukiiko abakwata speedi we nabonna balobye niwata kiki